Hey everybody, and welcome back to the board meeting. Today I'm going to be talking about 6 different games. 6 games that I think need an expansion for some reason or another. Do I need to fix things or just add things or whatever my reasons that I'll give for an expansion for these games. And all of these games I actually really enjoy, but they feel like they're missing a little something or I just need to add something here and there. But let's get into these games that I think an expansion would do these games good. And the first game we're going to be talking about is a great game. It's actually a game. It's my favorite game on this list. It's a game that I rate a 10. Actually, it's fantastic. It's a two-player only card game. This is a Radlands. This is a head-to-head battling game where I'm controlling 3 bases and you're controlling 3 bases, and we're putting out people in order to try to attack the other person's bases to destroy them, but you're also using those people as cannon fodder to protect your bases as well. And it's a great two-player game. One of my all-time favorite two-player games. The the problem is, well, there's not really a problem with this one. This is the one that needs the expansion the least amount. It's just one that I want an expansion for, and I just want more cards. I've played this game a lot. I've seen all the cards a lot. If they could just give me more cards, more different people, more people with different abilities to just bring more life into the game, that I think is already a great game. But I want more of Radlands. So it's like a selfish reason why I want this one. So this one doesn't need an expansion per se, but I really want this game to get an expansion to get it to the table some more for myself since I've played it so much. So yes, the first one is Radlands. The second one is a game and a Stonemaier game with an IP that I really like. This game is Red Rising. This is a card game that is actually based on the Fantasy Realms card game, but it's got the Red Rising IP, which is a great book series, one of my favorite all-time book series. It uses that IP along with the Fantasy Realms system, but it adds more of a board game sense to it. There's a little bit more going on to it. And I want an expansion for this game for one particular reason. In this game, you have a huge deck of cards, and you have a hand of cards that you are playing with that you're trying to work well with other cards in your hand. You're like, if I have this card, I want this card in my hand as well, because then they're going to get worth more points that way. But the problem is that deck of cards is huge, and you're not going through that deck very fast in this game. I mean, it's a pretty quick game, but you're not going through even half the cards in that deck. Maybe a fourth of the cards every time I've played it. You're not going through a lot of cards in that. So a lot of the cards that you need are not even an option for you that game because they're just not even going to show up at all for that game. And that's kind of disappointing in that way, but I still really like the game. But if there was some way where we could get through more of the deck of cards so you could have more options throughout the game, I think that would really enhance my experience for Red Rising. So yeah, second one was Red Rising. Third one is the newest game on this list. This is one that I just reviewed recently, like 2 months ago now, and that game is Daybreak. This is a cooperative game that was made by Matt Leacock, the designer of Pandemic, and I love this game. The system, it's a card system that you're playing cards on top of other cards in order to get these actions. It feels like a combination of Pandemic meets Spirit Island meets Terraforming Mars. It's such a really cool system. It's one of my favorite card games ever for that reason, but it doesn't get like a 10 rating or a 9 rating. I think I rated an 8.5 right now, and it's because of the ending of the game. There's no tension at the end of the game. Within the last round or two, you pretty well know if you're going to win or if you're going to lose. So you're like, the actions of the game are really cool and fun and interesting, but when it's leading up to the end game, you're like, okay, yeah, we're going to win next round, or we're probably going to win next round, or yeah, it's not going well, we're going to lose. There's no tension. There's no like last second things that are happening. It feels like that, surprises you. Like, oh, we're just going to barely eke out a victory. It seems like you're either going to win really easy or you're going to lose pretty quickly. And so I wish there was an expansion that could somehow simulate some more tension at the end of the game, make it a little bit closer towards the end of the game. I don't want to win easily, and I don't want to get blown out. I want it to be somewhere in the middle, right, of those two, where there's tension, like last second, like we're going to win or we're going to lose in the last second. Right now, you're going to win or you're going to lose pretty fast. You know what the outcome is going to be. So I just want an expansion to create more tension for the end game. So yeah, that's Daybreak. Next one is a game that I really liked, and it didn't really get a lot of hype when it came out. It just kind of came out. This is Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons. Now, this is by Prospero Hall, which did Horrified. But Horrified got really popular. This one didn't so much. But this is also a cooperative game. And it is a card-driven action game where you are playing out these cards that have actions on them, basically. And you're going to use those actions. But in this game, you're going to be placing these actions face down, where you basically don't know what other people are going to do. It's a cooperative game, so you're trying to cooperate with each other. But you don't even know what your cards are going to be when you're strategizing with everybody. Then you see all your cards, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to put this card down on here, and then this one on here, and this one on here. And then you're going to do those actions later on when you reveal them. But you can't, strategize with people while you have those cards in your hand. And that really helps with, quarterback play, with someone telling everybody exactly what they have to do. Well, you don't know what options that person has because they don't even know at the moment. So it really helps with that. The expansion that I want for this is I just want more stuff for this game, because this is a scenario-based game. In the base box, there are 3 different scenarios where you're fighting a certain villain, like you're fighting Ares or you're fighting Cheetah. And so there's 3 different scenarios. But the fact is, I want more scenarios, and it would be a really easy expansion to create. The system is very simple for these bad guys, and so I just want more bad guys, which would cause more scenarios, which would make me break out this box more often. Because right now, it's kind of sat on the shelf for the last year and a half, because I played all 3 of the scenarios like 2 or 3 times each, and then I put it away. Even though I really like the game, really like the system, it just doesn't have a ton of replay value since there's only the 3 different scenarios. I just want a couple more scenarios, and that would make me break out that box a few more times at least. So yeah, Wonder Woman Challenge of the Amazons. Going to the next one. The next one sort of has the same kind of issue with me. This is Stranger Things Upside Down, and it's another cooperative game where you're cooperating with each other, and it's kind of got this push your luck sort of system where you're going around the board trying to beat these stacks of tiles that have numbers on them, but you don't really know what the numbers are on them, so you're going to try to play so many to beat those stacks. It's a really fun game, and there are 2 different scenarios. It's the Season 1 and Season 2. I would like them to come out with an expansion to get Season 3 and Season 4. So, just like the Wonder Woman game, I want more scenarios for this, because the same scenarios kind of get stale after a bit. And so it'd be nice if they came out with Season 3 and 4, since those are already out for the TV series, which the TV series I absolutely love, so that's why I kind of got this game. And it really surprised me. It's a really good IP-based game. So yeah, Stranger Things Upside Down. I just want like a Season 3 and Season 4 expansion, scenario situations for this game. Going on to our last game we're going to be talking about that needs an expansion for me. And this is the game that I like the least amount on here, and it's because of a certain situation. This is Jaws. This is a hidden movement game where it's 1 versus many. There are 3 people going around the board trying to find Jaws and attack Jaws, and the one person's playing as Jaws. And it's 2 separate games, basically. There's a first half of the game, and then there's a second half. The first half is completely different than the second half. The first half of the game, you are on this island trying to find Jaws. Jaws is going around the beaches, eating up people, and as the other people, you're trying to stop Jaws. And once you catch Jaws so many times, it switches over to the second half of the game, which is where the people who are trying to find Jaws are now on a boat attacking Jaws. And it's got a hidden movement element to that one as well. But the hidden movement in the second half, it just is really fiddly. It's kind of, the rule book isn't very clear on a lot of situations in this, and it's just really fiddly to me. And this one, maybe not so much an expansion. I just want an errata where they fix the second half of the game. If they came out with an expansion, be like, okay, now this is the second half of the game now, and fixes that second half, I would get that. So an expansion or an errata for this, for the second half, because the first half of the game is one of my favorite hidden movement games. It's very simple to teach that part of the game, very easygoing, very straightforward, but very fun and thinky. It's a great hidden movement game for that first half. Then the second half is like, okay, forget all that. Now we're going to play this fiddly part of the game. And it really ruins the game for me. Like the first half is like a 9 for me, where the second half is like a 5. So I really wish they would fix that second half, whether it's through an expansion or an errata or some way to fix that second half. And yeah, those are the 6 games that I think need expansions in order to kind of breathe more life and fix things in those particular games. So yes, that will complete this video. Make sure to comment down below some of your thoughts on these games. Tell me some games that you really want expansions for to breathe more life into them. Either way, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe to see more weekly content from me, Shane, at the board meeting in the future. Hope you all have an amazing day. Take care.